Hi everyone, my name is Matthew Adams. I'm the Senior Cloud Architect in the Managed Services team with ZL Tech. So I'm very excited to bring you this web series on what ZL is offering in the cloud, introducing you to our fully partner managed service that hosts your archives within the cloud, as well as managing in-place archives within either your on-premise that you have already or existing cloud infrastructure that you might already have deployed. So we'll talk about the 5 reasons why we think you should adopt these cloud practices and how we can fit into that picture for you. So let's start with the market trends of why and when people are moving to the cloud. Over the past roughly 10 years, we've seen this rapid expansion of companies moving into the cloud from their traditional on-premise environments. Companies in highly regulated industries are coming on board very quickly, and that's when the cloud market revenue is increasing a lot with those large apps and large data sets that are being migrated into the cloud. So enterprises are entering and hosting predominantly within the cloud or on a hybrid cloud infrastructure. So if we look at last year, the 2020 cloud market revenue raised to $129 billion globally. That's almost 30 billion more than 2019, and yeah, quite a sizable amount. These rapid market trends can help with your digital business decision making in terms of vendors or which technology platform you're selecting. So what we're trying to do is get ahead of the curve and help our partners in the decision making and the transition into the cloud. So from this report done by Flexera, the biggest reason for most organizations to change is cost saving benefits. Most people watching have probably already watched a lot of content that talks about how the cloud can save costs in infrastructure, management, all those types of things, but you might not have experienced how truly effective the cloud can be. Optimizing the existing use of cloud, so cost savings, is the top initiative for the year ahead, followed by migrating more workloads to the cloud, expanding use of containers. And yeah, I mean, you can see from the list, 43% of the respondents also moved their on-premise software to a SaaS environment or software as a service. Looking at some of the more diverse ranges of why people are adopting it, we can see that there's things like continuous integration and continuous deployment into the cloud. And different markets and industries are adopting those practices. We're also seeing them using machine learning and AI technologies in the cloud for more security, things like data governance, virus scanning, complex policy management to infrastructure, all those types of things. Yeah, we're seeing companies use more effectively within the cloud. So how has the cloud solution changed organizations and what does it mean for their growth? So we can see from this chart here a 20% improvement in time to market, and that's a fifth of the time shaved off in you delivering products to market. This is helping all industries shave this time off in getting their customers out, products out to customers, which is how you can utilize your time and applications internally and deliver more to your customers within whatever area of business you're in. So what that 20% improvement means for us is that we can speed up the deployment times for getting new versions of our software, things like new security firmware updates, upgraded features, maybe deploying new modules. All of those things are much quicker for us by being in the cloud and having access to manage your ZL system. So looking at some of that efficiency as well, we can lower some of those costs by increasing the ways with which we make our application cloud native and how we interact with your organization, managing it efficiently, seeing all the servers, all the processing, all the compute, the database, storage, and matching those increasing and decreasing utilization patterns to increase efficiency. And finally, as it's a fully managed service, we manage all that infrastructure and the application for you in a SaaS model or software as a service. Your current budget in IT maintenance and operational costs can be spent internally into your own teams for your applications, or in things like remote desktop capabilities, deploying solutions for your remote workers in this, I guess, new age that we're living in. So now I'll go through the 5 reasons for adopting digital transformation and talk a little bit more in depth about what those reasons are. The first thing we're going to look at is the cloud scalability, as you can see from here. The primary focus of the cloud and why it's such a huge content delivery system right now is that it's completely scalable. Cloud is a compute and storage location that is beyond any of the requirements that any individual organization needs, which means that you can rapidly and diversely scale out your locations, your data sets, and your compute sizes. So for example, if you're operating in the east coast of the US and you open a new office in the west coast, and you need to start archiving them into a separate location. As a partner with the Microsoft Azure cloud, we at ZL can very rapidly spin up the networking, compute, database, and storage within those locations. And so while those sizes increase as you get more users, more work, more expansion, your footprint will increase, and there's no limit to the growth with which you can experience in those markets, but also we can archive you into the cloud. So while we have the capability of scaling infinitely, that's not something that we always want to do, because that's obviously got a cost associated with it. As you increase your utilization, so does your cost increase. So with the elasticity of the cloud model, you pay for what you use. When your utilization is lower, you can spin down those resources and lower your costs, or we do that for you. So one of the biggest use cases for us is when doing migration work. We take over from an incumbent provider and we need the processing power, maybe some database utilization, potentially some short-term storage. And in the traditional on-premise environment, you'd have to purchase that compute, purchase that storage, maybe a couple of servers for your database to allow you to do that rapid ingestion and increase your compute power to ingest those messages. Once that's done and it's become a part of your normal archive, you wouldn't need that hardware anymore, but you've already invested in it because it's an on-premise hardware investment. Within the cloud, we can just spin off that usage and only use what was required for that period of time, which significantly lowers the footprint that we need to invest in. The second reason for your journey into the cloud that you might be interested in is high availability. And what we're helping our customers realize about the capabilities in the cloud is the inherent high availability that some pieces of the Microsoft Azure platform are on offer. So a lot of the services that they offer, be it infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and some of their devices are highly available by design. So in the SQL platform, for instance, they have geo-redundant storage for backups, and that operates automatically. So every 15 minutes, your transaction logs are backed up, and all of that occurs without you setting up any jobs or tasks within the SQL server yourself. So Microsoft's SLAs will reflect the redundancy that's available in those types of things like VPN connections, firewalls, all of these sorts of things have inbuilt high availability. So when you provision your virtual machines, you can use things like availability sets, which means if there's any maintenance that needs to occur on the hosts hosting those virtual machines, like if Microsoft needs to migrate them behind the scenes or turn them off for a little bit, your virtual machines are never going to all go down at once. So your application availability is maintained. So that availability set keeps some part of your compute resource online. And on top of that, we have a large amount of monitoring tools that are available to us. So we can see the utilization, understand if something's going offline or having high utilization, and then triage that in a live, complex way to manage through the platform. So if a data center goes down, we have the capability of monitoring, alerting to us, and failing over something like the storage or geo-redundant storage or SQL, or if we need to fail over our virtual machines, we can do all that through the Microsoft platform. So In the third reason, a lot of people have concerns about moving their data and storing it into the cloud, and can that be done securely? Who's hosting it? Where is it hosted? All these kinds of questions. Recently, the cloud providers and Microsoft in particular have done an incredible job with being as transparent with that as they can in making sure your data is stored securely and that you know where it is. So they'll list things like the data center locations, the availability locations, and the geopolitical regions that they're operating in. So on the screen is some of the security protocols that we implement, and especially utilizing that concept of defense in depth to make sure that your data is always safe. So ZL as an organization is SOC 2 certified. And then working with Microsoft, they have a range of certifications such as things like FedRAMP, HIPAA, GDPR, CCPA, SEC, all these sorts of regulations they're certified against. So as a verified vendor, we can deploy it for you as part of a strategy for your architecture. And Microsoft in particular, teach this strategy of defense in depth to their partners. And we deploy our software and hardware using those concepts. So all of these individual technologies in Azure are secure. So things like the VPN private connections, the firewalls, the computational storage encryption, all those sorts of things are secure. But if they're breached at any layer, defense in depth means that that breach only happens at whatever layer they're entering, and not through the consistent layers above or below or next to it. So hackers have to break through multiple levels of encryption or multiple access points or multiple secure routes, different types of authentication they have to break through. So they need to go through multiple layers of complex security solutions to reach your data. Implementing those secure methodologies at each layer makes your data more secure. That security methodology is even down to the data center layer. So ZL ensures that data is encrypted during transit, during processing, and when at rest. So Microsoft's got a lot of publications about their cutting edge technology and how these defense in depth processes work. And they also give us recommendations up to the application layer of how you should manage your authentication. The fourth reason we have is the application and SaaS managed service. So we at ZL Managed Services team are utilizing a varying amount of platform as a service and infrastructure as a service systems from Azure, with Microsoft as our partner to deliver you this SaaS product. That means that you don't need to support your application, you don't need to worry about the back end of that application, the infrastructure, how to monitor it. You don't need the IT practices like ITIL, no system set up to monitor any of that. So we do all that work for you, which allows us to have the control that we need to manage the optimization of your system, but also to respond to your incidents with a very competitive SLA. So we ensure that your compliance, security, and regulatory requirements are met at all stages. You can put that on us as your trusted vendor. As a Microsoft trusted partner, we're available to resolve these incidents and ensure the uptime of your application in a 24/7 fashion. And Microsoft works with us to accomplish that also. What really matters to a lot of our customers is their diverse and complex data sets. So Azure is the only cloud platform that has an evergreen SQL. What that means is that if there's any kind of security updates or feature updates or improvements to security or technology, those are available within your cloud immediately. So those systems are managed by Microsoft. We as a vendor use Microsoft to manage some of the metadata that you have, which means that the support level is the best that is available in any cloud product. It's a nice tie-in to have the database services offered by the vendor who wrote it, host it, and then provide us with the support anytime we need it. And finally, the last reason, and always the biggest one that we see, is the cost saving. A lot of the costs that you would have to spend as part of the older on-premise model or in a hybrid model You need IT people in-house who might have cloud architecture knowledge, knowledge of maintenance, training, ITIL, storage. The list goes on for their expertise that's required. These costs that you have for the on-premise environment are often very substantial. What we're trying to do by offering this SaaS model is to offer you an ongoing cost with no long-term fluctuation. It's not based on your capabilities as an IT infrastructure team. We'll integrate with your existing IT team, but the burden, complexity, and the cost of that archive and the operational cost to set it up, they're taken away and given to us. So you guys can focus on the things that matter to you most as an organization. So no matter what industry you're in, healthcare, finance, you don't need to worry about the regulatory requirements anymore. You can spend your time and budget on better delivering your services to your customers. We take away those hardware and IT management costs or the headaches that are involved with it and manage the solution for you. It's almost a plug and play type of environment that we're trying to set up for you. So your significant savings in these areas of maintenance and infrastructure, you can spend on your product or delivering customers your product. So with the previous 5 reasons, we strongly encourage you to consider the option of moving to the cloud. We at ZL partner with Microsoft to offer specifically designed architecture and application expertise to you, which means that we have a very quick to market, easily deployable and a scalable solution that fits into whatever your requirements as an organization are. So if you're currently on-premise looking to test your feet in the water of the cloud, we can help you get there and provide you with those capabilities and designs. If you're already halfway there, you might have a hybrid cloud setup. We can integrate with the systems that you've currently got going on. Set up VPNs to your on-premise, VPNs to your cloud infrastructure, use existing express routes that you might have set up in Azure already. No matter where you are in your cloud journey, we at the ZL team can assist you with your move to your move of your archive or data management into the cloud. So that's our first presentation of how we can assist you to achieve some success in the cloud. If you've got any questions at all, please visit our website at zlti.com, reach out to our sales email, sales@zlti.com, or give us a call. We'd love to have a chat, schedule a chat with you and discuss your journey. Thanks very much for your time.